Hello everyone, welcome back to Black Heaven, a necromantic dating sim. Let's go ahead and continue on our journey back to Lazula. The rest of them form a half circle around you as you begin to walk backwards. You can hear their wheezing, ragged breaths as they crane their necks to get a look at you. You feel your throat dry up, and you're not sure if it's fear or cancer's black ash coating the flesh. I'll burn you. Get back. I'll burn all of you. You swing the flaming piece of wood in front of you, and a few ghosts take a step back. Then one of the larger ones walks forward and reaches for your arm, forcing you to take the step back. This isn't going to hold them for long enough. You cock back your arm and throw a stick with embers directly into the tall ghost's face. The ghost ignites with a screech, the flames climbing up its body and gathering into a crown of flames around its head. It claws at its face, doubling over and writhing. The hoarded ghost backs off slightly. You plunge a hand into your satchel. You pull out the grimoire until let it fall open in your palm. The ones who come near me get burned. The ones who stay go in here. You hold up the grimoire, and the gathered ghosts begin to groan and cover their faces. The ones who leave go in peace. I won't follow. The horde stands there for a while, uncertain. Then one by one, ghosts begin to peel off and walk away, muttering and moaning to themselves. After what feels like an hour, you make it to the entrance. Izagi's already chipping and kicking at the hole you made earlier. By the time you get to her, she's made a hole large enough for you to walk through, if you bend over. What happened? Doesn't matter. Let's just get out. Both of you drag the beam through the hole. You're the last one through, and as you take one final look back, you notice charred corpses wearing rusted armor lying around the gate, half buried in the ash. They came back, but not with a cure. When you get to the other side of the gates, you sit down the beam, then rest your hands on your knees to catch your breath. Your breathing seems strangely easy, and then you realize that your mask is still resting on your chin. You slide it up and adjust the strap so that it fits snugly on your face again. Your fingers feel weak and numb. You close your eyes as you focus on tightening the straps. No eyes' words drift back to you. Oh, and come back alive, or I'll kill you. You chuckle half-heartedly to yourself, feeling dread deep in your gut. You push it down, then walk to the edge of the broken bridge. You look across the gap and down into the chasm below. I think the beam will, reach. Izagi walks up beside you. So you're going to try to walk across, like a balance beam? That's the plan. Here, help me slide the beam across. You crouch down and start pushing the beam across the gap. Izagi kneels down behind you and makes sure to hold down the other end so the weight of the beam doesn't send it tumbling into the chasm. He reaches out 5, then 10, then 15 feet, until it finally runs into the outside of the bridge's broken masonry. You push it a few more inches forward, and stand up. You look back at Izagi. Gonna try to crawl across. Can you hold this end so it doesn't move? Yes, I'll hold it. Izagi crouches down and presses down on the edges of the beam. Alright, gonna go now. You step onto the beam and wiggle your body slightly to see how steady it is. There's a slight shift. Okay, here we go. You raise your arms to either side and take a step forward. taking you out the edge of the bridge and over the chasm. You keep your eyes on the beam in front of you, but you can see the dark side of the canyon lurking at the bottom of your vision. It's okay. It's okay. You take another step and feel the beam rock just slightly. Your body tenses and you lower yourself a little to keep your balance. You lift up your back foot to take another step, but a gust of wind whips across the chasm, blowing your clothes around you. Imagine Izagi holding the beam behind you, watching you. Then for a moment you imagine No Eyes is standing behind her, unhinging his jaw, and you freeze in place, leaning into the wind while standing on one leg. No, don't think about that, don't think about that. When all this is over, I'll start over again. I'll start over and none of this will have happened. The wind subsides a little and you take another step, then another. Soon you're halfway across. You see something at the edge of your vision and you'll outside and glance toward it. It's a wall of dust and ash headed in your direction. Oh God. Imagine trying to cross the rest of the beam with no vision, and you feel the tension in your body increase twofold. You can already feel the wind picking up again and see little flecks of ash floating past you. You take a hasty step forward on the beam, but you feel your satchel swing out from your side and tip your weight to the right. You pull it closer to you again with your right hand. That's already knocked you slightly off balance. You grit your teeth and teeter-totter back and forth, trying to get your equilibrium back. At the edge of your vision, you can see the dust cloud coming closer. Come on, come on! You take a slow step forward and feel the next part of the beam, but that's when you hear a cracking noise and feel dull pain in your foot. You glance down at the beam and see where your foot is positioned. Beneath your toes, you can see a finger-sized gash on the wood, where splinters are sticking out. God damn it. You try to put weight on your front foot, but the splinters immediately start gouging deeper into the sole. You lift up your foot and try to position it further forward, but the gash on the beam starts to crack and split. It's not going to hold. It's going to split if I try to go the rest of the way. You look toward the far edge of the beam where the broken bridge lies ahead. It's 4 or 5 steps away at most. Who's out? There's a storm coming! You glance to your left and the dust cloud is already engulfing part of the academy's outer wall. Fuck. Even if I die here, I'll have to go through this again. You let out a groan and clench your fists, still held out at your sides. You lock your eyes on the bridge ahead and block everything else out. No splinters, no cracks, no dust cloud, no pain. Just the other end of the bridge. You bring your back leg forward, jam it down on the beam, then swing your other leg in front of you and try to run the last few steps. You hear the beam crack and splinter under your weight. You feel your stomach drop as the beam starts to sag behind you, tilting you backward a few degrees. For a second, your foot doesn't seem like it will connect with the beam, and you flail your arms to tilt your weight forward. Your foot hits the beam and you throw yourself forward. As both of your feet push off on the beam, you feel it splintered underneath you and split in half. Your knees hit the edge of the bridge and your stomach hits the hard, dusty cobblestones. Before you realize what you're doing, you're scrabbling for grip and pulling yourself forward. You drag your legs up and over the side, and you hear a loud echo as the remains of the wooden beam bounce off something on the way down. You let out a shuddering breath and look toward the approaching wall of dust. You get your feet under you and stand up, then turn around to look across the chasm. You see Izagi taking a few tentative steps across the empty air, walking toward you. You raise a hand to show you're alright. As soon as you do, you feel a chill rack your body, followed by a wave of dizziness. You raise your other hand to your chest and feel your heart beating through your clothes. You look down at your hand, but as soon as you do, the world begins to spin around you. Come on, Uzo, stabilize. We got no time for this. You fall to one knee, but then lean forward and brace yourself against the ground with both hands. A wave of heat runs across your skin, and you feel sweat spring from your pores. You try to breathe, but you can only take shallow breaths. Suddenly, a cough racks your body, and you feel something drip out of your mask. You look down and see small streams of blood running from the edge of your mask and soaking into your shirt, creating a plate-like dark spot on the fabric. Oh no. You collapse to the ground and everything goes black as a storm rolls over you. When you open your eyes, you're looking at your dorm room upside down. Afternoon light streams through the windows and you feel strangely heavy. You look up at the ceiling and see a black rope tied around your legs, the tar-covered kind that sailors use. The other end of the rope is not around the hook on the ceiling. You try to reach up and grab at the knot around your ankles, but your body is too weak to hold itself up. You let yourself hang and look down. A tall pile of books is stacked beneath your head, arranged in a haphazard pyramid. You reach down and touch them, the topmost book is just out of reach of your fingers. What the hell is this? Outside the window, the sunlight rapidly starts to fade. Darkness creeps across the room, then faints moonlight. You watch the light move across the floor, climb up the stack of books, then jump to your face. You can feel your heart beating hard in your chest, so hard that it makes you wince slightly with each beat. You realize that each beat is physically pushing on you, forcing you to swing half backward. The moonlight on your face ebbs, and after a while, the shadows retreat from the room while dim dawn light filters through the glass. You're swinging back and forth now, and your heart slows that it only beats on the backswing. Morning turns to afternoon, and you keep swinging further and further, back and forth. Sweat drips down your forehead, and you grit your teeth as the rope bites into your ankles. This isn't right. This isn't right. Afternoon turns to evening, then to night, then to midnight. You keep swinging, feeling the pain growing your legs. Different parts of your room arc in and out of you as you swing, and suddenly Rue is there. She's standing on the ceiling, looking at you eye to eye. When you swing forward, backward, she disappears. Outside your window, the cycle of day and night presses faster and faster. When you swing forward again, Izagi is standing on the wall, looking around in confusion. Uzo? The next thing you swing forward, Liz is sitting on the floor looking up at you from the foot of the pyramid of books. The light flashing and fading from your window illuminates her for a moment before she's hidden again. Please grab my hand. You reach out your hand to touch someone, anyone, but they're all just out of reach. You feel blood tickling down your legs and coursing down your chest. Please, it hurts so much. When you open your eyes, you're lying on your back. The sky above you is a wash of browns and oranges, and you feel a thin layer of dust on your lips. You can see a blurry face above you. You cough, then lift your goggles and wipe your eyes with the back of your hand. When you open your eyes again, you make out Izagi's face. What happened? Bleeding in your lungs. You lost about a pint of blood. A pint? Jesus. You're gonna die soon. There's a lot in there. cough and immediately feel a spike of pain in your lower chest. You look down and see your exposed skin, then lines of stitches. Oh. What happened to the dust storm? It passed. Took a long time to go, though. I wasn't sure if you were going to survive it. You feel two hands slide underneath your back and lift you up. You feel your stomach muscles tighten and a new wave of pain. Go easy. Hold on. You watch Izagi lift her shirt and use her dirty stylus to draw new symbols on the spell map spread across her stomach. After a few seconds, the pain suddenly ebbs from her flesh, leaving you with a patch of dead feeling skin. That feels a bit better. You sigh and wipe your hands down your face, then your mask. You look around and see the walls of Itzon behind you. Ahead lies the vast wasteland surrounding the academy. Somewhere out there, you know, is the entrance to Lazula, and at the bottom of the grand staircase in the library, No Eyes is waiting. You cough again and lower your head, sending a shower of ash tumbling from your clothes. Uzo, what happened out here? Why is it a desert? You look up at Izagi. There are fires outside the academy too. The plague managed to get out. They started falling towns and burning them. No one was controlling the fires. Then there were rumors that the plague could infect animals and plants, so people started burning those too. Lots of ash blocked out the sun in some places, so things couldn't grow back. It all spiraled out of control. How much ended up destroyed? How much is left? You shrug. I don't know. Izagi looks over the barren expanse and shudders. God. The guy I know, the one who says he can cure disease, is underground. A few days of walks from here. Well, more like a week. Do you feel like you're able to walk? I think so. Maybe. Then we'd better get walking. You shift onto your knees and try to stand up, but you only manage to get onto one knee before you have to stop and gather your strength. Here. You lift her head and see Izagi holding her hand out. You take in and feel Izagi lift your shoulder under your arm. You shuffle forward, looking out toward the horizon. A few hours later, the light begins to fade across the wasteland, bringing chilling winds. You decide to stop near the ruins of half-demolished building to make camp and keep warm till the night. The building is mostly a shell, with only its four walls still standing. Izagi sits against the wall, rubbing her thumbs together. Are you alright? Izagi blinks and looks toward you. Oh, yes, I'm fine. Seems like you're thinking about something. There's a lot to think about. Like what? What happens next? Izagi rests her wrists on her knees and shrugs. It frightened me before. The idea that I had to spend eternity as a ghost. But after we spoke last time, I don't feel afraid of it anymore. I don't know if I want to spend the rest of eternity staring at this wasteland, but there's something else. What do you mean? It's kind of the opposite feeling I had before. I felt like I was unraveling, and eventually I'd be back to being that thing that can let go of anything. Now I feel like I'm holding on to this place, this time, and this shape, because if I don't, I'll just fade away. Sounds kind of scary. It doesn't feel scary. It feels like floating. Like this is still a dream and I'm at the edge of waking up. I see. When I was in that other form, I could feel all those bad memories holding me down, pulling at me like currents. I know what you mean. That's how I felt for a long time, and I'm not even a ghost yet. Did you think being forgiven would get rid of those feelings? You stare at the fire. No. I don't know, Izagi. Even if you said you forgave me, I don't think I could let it go. Besides, you look around at the ruins, then the ash rolling in the sky and the blackened ground. This is all my fault. I don't think what I did to Itsan, to all the people outside too, I don't think I deserve to. You rub your hands together, staring at nothing. I'm just glad I was able to find you. Talk with you. Izagi nods. I'm glad too. Noise's face flashes in your mind. You rub your chest and groan. Did you get a look at my guts when you were working on me? Any idea how bad it is in there? From what I can tell, a combination of cancerous growth and physical trauma caused a little tear to develop in your lung. I patched that up and drained the blood. But it's pretty obvious that the cancer is metastasized through your organs. Wait, how far? Lungs, intestines, and muscle tissue at least. Damn. I thought the filter mask would be able to deal with all the ash and dust. I guess it couldn't handle all of it. The thought of your impending death fills your mind again, but this time Noise's enchantment won't be able to get you out of it. The clock is ticking again, and you're right back where you were in Lazula, in a dying body with no cure. You cough and clear your throat. You give an awkward laugh and try to smile. Well, I really appreciate you keeping me alive for a little longer. I'm not being sarcastic. I mean it. Thank you. What are you going to do now? I think I have to rest. I'm so damn exhausted. Just wake me up in a couple of hours. Alright. Do you have any happy memories? The silent, pristine campus of Itsan looms over you, covered in snow. In front of you is a fountain full of frozen water. And Rue wearing her ice skates. You bend down and wrap one arm around her shoulder, then slip one arm around her thighs. She eases herself down and you slowly lift her up. Rue looks cute with the winter wear. You feel one of her arms wrap around your neck, while the other is bundled in her lap. Even with the heavy clothing and skates, she's still light. You take one step forward toward the fountain, then another. Rue's head is resting against her shoulder, and her face is almost in the crook of her neck. You step up to the wall of the fountain and readjust her grip. Rue looks toward the ice, then up at you. You can feel the steam from her mouth warming your face. Ready? Oh, ready. Ready. Gently, you lower her so that she can sit on the wall of the fountain and plant her feet on the ice. She slides her arm off your shoulders, but her other arm holds onto your coat to steady herself. Rue slowly stands up, and you feel her tremble a little. You hear the metallic hissing of the skates sliding slightly on the ice, and she takes a deep breath. You can hear her muttering to herself. Here we go. Here we go. She turns one of her feet so that it points outward, and pushes with her other foot. She slides a few inches across the ice, pulling you along with her. You walk beside her, slightly bent over the wall of the fountain. who carefully lifts up her back leg and plants it, then pushes off again. Again, her foot slides another few inches across the ice. It's working! Imagine waking up and it being that day again. The light of the chandeliers flickers in the vast, empty ballroom in the theater lobby, and you're sitting across the table from Izagi. You get up from the table and follow Izagi over to an open span of floor near the string trio. You watch Izagi approach the players, who cease their music almost immediately. She says something in a soft voice, and you realize that she's requesting a song. Hi, Izagi. You look great. When she walks back to you, she offers her hand. You take it and she puts her other hand on your shoulder and places her other hand on her waist. New music begins and it's surprisingly slow and melancholy. A single violin begins a melody, lingering on the notes before fading into the next measure. Izagi begins to move her feet, and you clumsily move with her. Her eyes are gazing into yours, and her lips are slightly parted. She turns slightly, leading you with her arm, and you turn too. Slowly, like a sunrise, the bass and the cello join the violin, uniting in a bittersweet, broken harmony that twists and then rises together, crystallizing into something beautiful. You wander in circles around the room with Izagi, lost in the music in her eyes. You're only half listening to the music, you can still piece it together. The overlapping canons weave together, repeating the same patterns and new variations, and harmonizing in surprising ways. Meanwhile, you and Izagi are moving in time with the music, drawing invisible patterns with your bodies. She's much more graceful than she'll admit. Minutes pass, and Izagi steps closer to let her head rest on your shoulder. Both of you continue swaying around the ballroom together until the song comes to the final, drawn-out close. Oh, I really wish I got Izagi's routes. Lisa's great, but I really like Izagi. The bass lapses into silence, then cello, until only the violin is left. It lingers on the penultimate note, a minor one, sounds like keening, and fades out without resolving. You and Izagi come to a stop in the middle of the ballroom, still holding one another. A vast silence falls out of the room, and all you can hear is Izagi breathing against you and your own heart breathing. A happy little loop. You ease yourself into one of the seats in the front row of the theater and watch Elise climb on stage. Elise puts both her feet together, raises herself up to her full height, and clasps her hands in front of her stomach. She begins quietly, barely loud enough for you to hear, then rises in volume as each stanza finishes. Every time we say farewell, I hear a bell toll, and I wonder if love can last. Every time I fall asleep, I start to weep, and I wonder if you're only in the past. Every hour I spend apart, I feel my heart shatter and break, and it'll last forever. Lisa's voice is somewhere between beautiful and raw, and her rendition of the song changes from melodious and beautiful to broken and pained, as if she's half singing the latter parts to herself. She keeps her eyes shut throughout the whole song, but her face changes to match the words, from hopeful to melancholy, then to broken-hearted. After the first verse, you forget that Lisa's singing only to you. She seems to put her heart and soul into it, as if she's singing to full house. You have a flash of realization. She really could be a singer. The song ends on a low, lingering note that fades down to nothing. Lisa drops her face as she finishes it, then raises her head again and opens her eyes. You open your eyes again and feel hot, stinging tears gathering at the edges. You feel a sob bug over your chest. You try to keep your body stiff and still, but an anguished moan escapes your lips. This is a nightmare. Even if it's real, it's a nightmare. You feel something wrap around your shoulder. It's weightless and prickly, like a sharp fog, but soon it becomes soft and cold. You realize that it's Izagi's hand. Are you okay? You look up at Izagi's face and swallow hard. Her expression is somber, and her eyes gaze deep into yours. Your thoughts slip back to the grimoire in your satchel. If I seal her in the grimoire again and bring them all to no eyes, I can finish the deal. But if I do that, I'll be feeding them to him while I live in the past. You cover your face with your dirty palms and sigh. I have to choose. I don't want to feed them. I don't want them. Maybe I'll let you go. You deserve that, Izagi. I'm not using you for selfish things. I can't lie to her. Not again. Not after all this. Even if I die, at least I'll die knowing I didn't try to sacrifice someone else to save my own skin. Izagi, you mentioned that you had a strange feeling. You said you felt like you could just float away. Yes, that's right. I still feel that way. I don't know what will happen if she lets go of this time and place. I saved, right? I saved. Okay. But at least she'll be free. I think you should see if you can find a way to let go of this time and place and your shape. What about you? You look up at Izagi. I got some unfinished business to take care of before I die. Where? Lazula. Deep underground. But what about the cure? You said you're going to take me to Lazula to help figure out a cure for the plague. There is no cure. What? The guy I'm supposed to take you, he's not studying a cure for the plague. He's a necromancer. Or chronomancer. I don't know what he is, but he's a monster. He wants to perfect his body so they can survive outside of time. He doesn't want to decay. The specialty is chronomancy, and he hasn't mastered physiomancy. He needed someone to fill in the gaps, but everyone's dead. So I made a deal with him. I told him I'd go to Itsun to find the ghosts of people who could teach him what he needed. And in return, he'd use his chronomancy to put me in a time where I could relive my memories. But once he's finished with modifying his body, he's going to escape this timeline, or this reality, I don't know. And he said he was going to eat your souls to keep his own intact. I'm supposed to bring in the grimoire with you sealed in it, but I just can't. Can't lie to you again. There's a few seconds of silence as Izagi looks at you. So you've been lying to me this whole time about why you came back? Yes. And everything you told me was just to get me to trust you again. Izagi gives a short, bitter laugh. But why am I asking you? Why believe anything you say now? Doesn't matter if you believe me or not. Just go. Fade out or whatever you decide. Just don't follow me. Where are you going? Going back to him. Necromancer. Why? You shrug. So I can tell him to his face, otherwise he'll come looking for me. I know he will, but I want to squeeze out a few more days alive living in fear of him. How noble. So what part of that is true? You laugh under your breath and shake your head. Nothing I can say means anything anymore. All that matters now is what you do and what I do. You stand up and brush the dirt and ash off of you. Izagi rises to her feet as well. You look at her, then down at the ground. I guess this is goodbye then. Yes. It is. You watch her wordlessly turn away and walk out of the ruins through the doorway. After a while, you open the grimoire and unbind Rue and then leaves. You watch their faces change from wariness to deep, bitter suspicion as you tell them what you told Izagi. Before they can change back to their terrifying forms, you tell them to go. They're free of you. Forever. When their footsteps disappear into the dark, you stand there for a long time. Finally, you sit down against the ruined wall. You feel empty, numb. Go to sleep. The next morning, you wake up next to the remains of the fire. The events of the past day run through your head, and despite the emptiness in your gut, you feel light, as if a weight has been lifted, a weight you didn't know you'd been carrying. You begin to pack up your things and get ready for the trip back to Lazula. When you're set, you take out the grimoire from your bag and look at it. He said he wanted it back for sentimental reasons. You step out of the ruins of the building and start walking across the wastes. The walk back to the grand staircase takes, you want to say an eternity, but you know it's a relatively small eternity. You keep your eyes closed and concentrate on putting one foot in front of the other. When you stumble and fall to the ash, you stay on all fours for a while, then back up. Time seems to stretch on and on. You lose track of days and nights, minutes and hours, until it all blurs together. You don't know what to think. You don't know what to feel. All you know is that you're alone in this timeless wasteland, and your mind and body are coming apart at the seams. You can feel that cancer spreading through your body, the ache of your muscles, the sting of the wounds, and most of all, the constant churning of your mind. You think about everything you said, everything you did. The nightmare landscape of the campus, the still burning pyres, the figures wandering through the ash clouds. I'm not so different from those ghosts now. The only difference is that I can't remember everything. You feel a deep-seated, desperate part of you that wants to escape back into your memories, but now you don't think you can. You can never fool yourself into believing that it all has a happy ending. You can never forget what happened. There's another part of you, not so deep down, that wants to shed all this guilt like shrugging off a dirty, ragged coat. You want to tell yourself that it's not your fault. So you hold on to that guilt as tightly as you can. Of all the things in your mind, it's the one thing you know is real. Finally, you find yourself back at the entrance to the grand staircase. The sight of the familiar ruins surrounding it almost feels welcoming. As you descend the steps to Lazula, you hear Noai's voice echoing in your head. When your soul is unraveling, your mind is spinning dreams to reassure you're alright. But it keeps making nightmares instead. And to the person concerned, those nightmares seem to go on forever. As soon as the darkness closes over your head, you light a match and stare down the steps into the shadows. It feels like you're walking down the inside of a giant throat. You don't expect that you will ever see daylight again. Continue down the steps, listening to echoes of your footsteps bounce out the walls. By the time you get to the bottom, it feels like a day has passed. You're exhausted and barely able to keep your eyes open, but it feels something pulling you forward. You look up at the ruined buildings that flank the streets and feel the oppressive silence weighing down on you. Every shuffling footstep seems to resound through the dilapidated cityscape, and soon you find yourself gritting your teeth. Something is going to hear me. You cross several blocks before slumping against the wall and sliding down to your knees. I have to rest. I can't keep going until I rest. You shift that you're sitting with your back to the wall and slip off your satchel. You stretch your shoulders, rotate your neck, then rest your forehead on your knees and wrap your arms around your legs. You slip into the oblivion of sleep. Then, minutes or hours later, something grabs a handful of your hair. You feel yourself being lifted off the ground and the roots of your hair straining against your scalp. You let out a pained scream and try to grab onto whatever's holding you up. Ah, it's you again. Are you Tenta's ghost? You look like Tenta. That's when your eyes clear and you see another face staring back at you. You're a thief, aren't you? A robber. You, I can tell. You desperately reach into your bag, trying to grab something to ward out the ghost. Your hand brushes against the grimoire and the handle of the rusty pistol. Ghosts are scared of grimoire, but the pistol is what it used to kill itself. Oh, my last save. I think it's my last save. Good luck to me. How about we scare the ghost through the grimoire? You pull out the grimoire and struggle to open the pages directly in front of the ghost's face. Their sweaty, grimy fingers curl over the cover. Suddenly, the ghost screams. It tears the grimoire out of your hand and throws it down the street. Oh, that's not good. No, 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 no. The ghost's grip on your hair tightens and it forces its other hand into your mouth. You start to scream, but the sound is muffled by the ghost's pale fingers. It lets out a groaning yell, then pulls down on your jaw. With a wet, ripping noise, you feel your lower jaw separate from the rest of your head. As blood pours out of your skull, you slip into oblivion. Whoops. Wrong choice. You pull out the pistol and point at the ghost's face. Your sweaty, grimy finger curls around the trigger, and you cock the mechanism. Put another hole in your head. Back off! The ghost lets you go and staggers back, shielding his face. It lets out an inhuman shriek, and you see it collapse to its knees. He still thinks it can hurt him. You drop the pistol back in your bag and start running toward the library. So long, you poor bastard. An hour later, you arrived. The entrance to the library looms ahead of you, and you see that nothing has changed since you left. You walk down the long tunnel and linger outside the doors. You know you should feel dread or trepidation or sadness, but now that you're here, all you feel is relief. You push open the doors of the library, and the scent of dust and aged paper fills your mask. You walk through the entryway and glance around at the gloomy shelves, the drifting fireflies, and the shadowed ceiling. Ahead of you, you can see that someone has stacked books in the main aisle. Each pile is almost 6 feet tall, and each one is neatly stacked so that all covers lines up. A ghost? The thought freezes you in place. You look around slowly, letting your eyes scan the shadows. You feel your heart begin beating fast in your chest. You take a few tentative steps forward and try to keep your breathing steady. You look between 2 rows of shelves on your left, Then on your right. Nothing. You crouch down and creep over the side of a nearby shelf and press yourself against it and listen. You hold your breath and strain your ears. At the edge of your hearing, you catch the sound of footsteps shuffling across the stone floor. Is that noise? Or the thing that got him? You hear the footsteps coming closer, but along a different row of shelves. By instinct, you reach into your satchel and wrap your fingers around the handle of the rusty pistol. The footsteps are louder now, and you glimpse something moving between the shelves. It's walking toward the main aisle. You'll be able to see in 5, maybe 6 seconds. You slip behind one of the shelves and peek your hand around the corner, just enough so that one of your eyes can look out at whatever it is. A shadowy figure steps into the aisle. It's now holding a lantern. It appears to be reading a book and humming to itself. You see its head turned to face you, and you see the glint of metal, as well as 2 lines of gritting teeth. Oh, there you are. I thought I heard someone come in. Hi, No Eyes. No Eyes closes the book in his hand and sits on top of a stack near his leg, nudging it slightly so that it cover aligns with the rest. Are you hiding? You step out from behind the bookcase and slide the pistol back in your satchel. I thought you might have been a ghost, or that something got in you and took you out. Took me out. Trust me, when it got in here, it would have been a lot more scared of me than vice versa. Speaking of which, welcome back. Took you long enough, but you finally made it. Well done. Yeah, thanks. You nod toward the stacks of books. What's all these books piled up? Oh, these? I've been keeping myself busy. These are all the ones I read so far. There's some good stuff about graphromancy and geometry, but all the philosophy books are... Well, let's say that we should be glad that some people never survived long enough to become immortal. There was one book that caught my attention, actually. Something quite interesting. Let's see, where did I put it? This man has so much sauce? No Eyes turns away from you and starts searching his stacks. You watch him crouch down and run one finger up at a line's spines, then move to a different stack and start muttering. No. What was it called? He twists his head over his shoulder to look back at you. I started reading about probability, especially in relation to gambling games. Are you familiar with divination at all, like yarrow sticks or knuckle bones? No, not really. It's mostly the same as rolling dice. But the ambient conditions of the world affected the roll. I see. Did you know there are 5,362 distinct positions possible on a chessboard after 3 moves? After 4 moves, it increases to 71,852. No, I didn't know that. Even with fewer pieces and much more simple movement patterns, there end up being so many permutations that it's hard to account for all of them. Eventually, you have to rely on intuition. And from intuition, you develop different styles of play. Different ways for the human mind to make sense of all the chaos. Can we talk about... No Eyes stands up and puts his hands on his hips. Damn it, it's here somewhere. There was one book in particular. Oh, forget it. He turns to face you. It's on charting the vagaries of the human mind. A fascinating topic. Do you happen to read any of my book, The Nikizi? I did, yeah. What did you think? Did you find a little riddle at the end? No, I couldn't figure out the cipher. Aw, disappointing. I thought you of all people would be able to do it. Ah well. Maybe then could make the time loop for myself. Huh. No, I sincerely doubt it. What do you mean? Since we're likely the last two immortality scholars alive in this dead rock, I'll tell you a secret. That whole encoded section is just a bunch of potty poetry I wrote. What? That's all nonsense. All the text is anyway. The diagrams are real, but all the instructions are just nursery rhymes. So you lied? You don't know how chronomancy works? On the contrary, I do know the secrets. Otherwise, I'd have become a gibbering idiot a long time ago. Then why would you? Because that wasn't the point. The point was for them to spend decades decoding that text. And if they were the vain, half-assed scholars I knew them to be, it might have taken them centuries. I was the one who understood that madness, not change or decay, was the real enemy of an immortality scholar. The degradation of the mind. Every second they spent trying to decode what text would endure their minds would continue fraying just a little more. And if they finally managed, it would all be for naught. No salvation, no way out. That's what I wanted to leave for my colleagues. Despair. That's all they deserve. No eyes chuckles. But of course, your plague put an end to all that before they figured out the joke. Oh well, that's just our little inside joke now. When you've lived enough lives, all you have are inside jokes. Everyone else just has tragedies. Anyway, we made it here and back in one piece. What was it like on the campus? The epicenter of the plague. I've never seen it. You think back to the campus, the drifting smoke, the shapes in the haze, the ruined buildings looming overhead. It's like a nightmare. The smoke is still coming out the pyres in the buildings. There's ghosts wandering around. They're trying to eat one another, I think. I only saw a part of the campus. I didn't go too deep. It's the size of a city. That's what I heard. The ghosts didn't rip you up too badly, did they? And I got cut when I was capturing some of my classmates. The one you just asked for. Ah, too bad. Well, this body doesn't matter much anymore. When I wrench your soul out of it and put it in the little time loop, you can leave that busted up mortal coil behind. Now, about those souls. You've got the grimoire, right? I do. And you've got those 3 souls. No. What? Yes, you fucking do. Give me that grimoire. Noise holds out his hand, palm up. You take out the grimoire from your satchel and hand it to him. He immediately opens the book and begins flipping through the pages with his thumb. When he reaches the final empty page, he seems to stare at it for a while before closing the book with a thump. When he speaks, he doesn't raise his helmet to face you. Where are they? I let them go. You had them. In the fucking book. And you let them out? Yeah, I did. Norise raises his shoulders, shakes his head, and abruptly throws the grimoire at his feet, sending it sprawling across the floor. He kicks it aside and steps toward you. Then why the fuck did you come back here? Because I'm ready to die. Noise spreads his arms wide and shrugs. Oh, so you gave up, and now you want me to give you an easy out. Another bullet to the head? I didn't give up. Noise points at the grimoire, which is now covered in dust a few paces away. Then what the hell do you call that? I thought I told you not to fuck with me. I guess I didn't make it clear enough. Let's fix that. Noai steps closer to you, pressing his helmet's cold steel exterior against your face so that it steals the warmth from your skin. You're going in on a loop. Not a nice, happy loop. It's gonna be a loop of the last hour of your life. When I unhinge the jaw on this helmet and eat you alive. I'm going to peel apart your muscles and rip apart those vertebrae one at a time, like a rack of lamb. I'm going to eat your tongue so you can't bleed anymore. And then I'm going to slice off your eyelids so you have to watch while I eat your face. And when all that's left is your limbless, hollowed out little torso in the head, I'm going to gouge out those eyes and piss in the sockets. Don't worry, you're gonna be alive for all of it. I'll make sure of that. Then it's gonna happen again, and again, and again. Forever. That'll be you for eternity, you tiny, insufferable little prick. Unless you get me those souls. Do you understand me? Do you understand what's going to happen to you? You stare back at this eyeless helmet and shake your head. I'm not giving you their souls. Noai stands there unmoving for what seems like forever. Finally steps back and seems to stare at you. Why? Because I'm not gonna give up someone else's soul just to save mine. You understand that you'll never see them again, correct? No matter what you do, you'll never get any of them back. I know. I let go of that. Even if I can't see them again, at least I'll know they're safe. Not in your fucking stomach. Noai stands still for a long time, then sighs and leans against the bookcase, folding his hands. I guess that's it then. Time for your eternal torture. Yeah, I guess so. His shoulders lower an inch or so, and you hear him give a defeated sigh. You ever tortured somebody? No, not really. The real satisfaction of torture is having someone grit their teeth and tell you that they're not gonna break. And then you get to watch them fall apart, piece by piece, until they're so desperate that they'll say anything you want them to say. I've asked people to tell me unspeakable, disgusting things, admit to things that they didn't do. That's where it gets interesting, because that's when you tighten the screws even harder. And if you've done your job right, if you really push them to their limit, in that moment, they realize that saying the words isn't enough. So they reach down deep inside, and the next time they say the words, they believe it. That's when you stop, and you let them loose, so that they can realize what they've done. Noai raises his helmet to look at you. That's when they beg you to put them out of their misery. Do you think you're different? You slowly brush yourself off, stand up straight and sigh. I guess we'll find out, won't we? I'm ready when you are. Noai shrugs helplessly. You sucked a lot of the fun out of this, but I made you a promise and I'm a man of my word. I haven't gutted a person in a long time. I hope I still remember how. Well, it's not too different from field dressing a deer. Noai chuckles to himself. Did you know that deer hearts are near identical to human hearts? The words run through you like a cold ripple through a still pool. You remember someone saying that. Of course, pig hearts are even more similar. You can even use those for transplants. Fitting, huh? I guess so. I'm curious. When Lise asked if you'd like to get your hands dirty, what did you tell her? Lise? You mean my classmate? Yeah, her. First day of class, she asked you that. What'd you say? I said I didn't mind. Smart move. How did you know about... Did you go back in time and meet Lise? No. The word is blunt and final. Noise crosses her arms and tilts his head forward, letting his chin rest on his chest. How did you know about what I... When you found out you were infected, did you spread it to the others? Or did you hole up in your room and wait to get out? You open your mouth and stop. You want to get an answer from him, but he keeps interrupting you. You get the feeling that he's not going to stop. I infected them. I see. Some things never change, I guess. What are you talking about? How do you know all that? Did they forgive you in the end? Rue? Izagi? Any of them? Damn. Kind of. Maybe not. Do you deserve forgiveness? I don't know. No eyes fall silent for a while. You don't know, huh? After all this time. He seems to look around the darkened library, then crosses his arms and grunts. You know, for a long time ago, someone told me that there are some things that can never be forgiven. No matter how much time passes, no matter what you do, it doesn't matter, because of whatever good you do, it comes out at the same hateful place inside you. And even if you try to change, the guilt and the self-loathing that make you want to change are part of the old you. You can't escape yourself, and you can't change no matter how hard you try. And even if you were forgiven, it wouldn't matter. You have to live with the knowledge of what you are deep down. No Eyes chuckles to himself. I wonder what your Lotus would look like now. A wave of realization passes over you. We've met before, haven't we? In another timeline or something. You found me and went through all this before. No Eyes chuckles and shakes his head. When you were going through your time at Itson, what's the one thing you depended on? I don't know. Doing anything to get by? Saying whatever I had to say? Something else, too. You believed that everyone was in it for themselves. Everyone had their ulterior motive, right? No one was innocent. If there's one thing that you could rely on, it was that everyone was selfish in one way or another. I don't think... It's okay. That's what I believe too. That's why I'm always the last one alive. But after a while, I started wondering... What if there's more than I'm not seeing? What are people anyway? No Eyes reaches in the satchel and pulls out a worn, beaten copy of a book. You recognize it. The Lotus Gambit. Wait, hold on, is this me from another timeline? Where did you get that? Same place as you. No Eyes opens the book and flips the page, then lets out a faded yellow paper lotus. Do you remember the first paper lotus that Rue folded for you? Yeah, when we met. She told you that no one can fold a perfect lotus, and just like the other lotus, the universe has cracks in it. That's how you get out. I got out a long time ago. Do you know what the void looks like? Mirrors, an infinity of mirrors. Because you're the only thing out there. It takes a shape. I realized that I hated looking at myself. I couldn't stand the sight of me. So I came back. I wanted to see if I could change. No Eyes raised his helmet to look at you. Turns out I could. No Eyes puts the book back in the satchel, then steps forward and offers you his gloved hand. You take it cautiously and he squeezes it. How long do you think it would take to track down every ghost in this world and ask them for forgiveness? Every single one? I don't know, a couple thousand years? That's not so long, compared to eternity anyway. I think I can do it. You? Why would you? I was the one who caused the plague. I should be the one who's suspended. I'll do it. They'll recognize me, even if you don't. You stare at him, confused. Recognize? Who are? Don't worry about it. It's not your problem anymore. Hey, I don't get it. After all this, you're going to spend the next thousands of years asking dead people to forgive me? What will I do? Just sit here in this library and wait to die? If you had the choice, would you want to die? Or would you want to start over? What do you mean, start over? You aren't always a scholar, it's on Uzo. The world doesn't always end in the plague you caused. Some of the timelines turns out differently. If you wanted to, you could start over somewhere else. I could do that for you. But you'd have to live with the knowledge of what you've done here. I can't take that away from you. So, it's your choice. I'm out of save slots, buddy. I'm gonna have to go back to page 1. Okay. What? Child, what do? Start over? Let's try starting over. I'd like to start over. Alright then. Give me your arm. Extend your left arm and No Eyes pulls back the sleeve. With the flick of his finger across her skin, he erases his old enchantment. He places his fingertips on your arm and begins moving each of them individually. Each one draws a triangle, and when he's finished, you find that he's made a design like a pyramid, made of smaller pyramids. No Eyes takes his hand away and nods slightly. There. You want more from this timeline. So what happens now? No Eyes reaches in his satchel and pulls out his pistol. He levels it at your head and you gaze into the black eye at the barrel. That's up to you. There's a crack, and everything goes black. Take a deep breath and try to slow your heartbeat. Your eyes are closed, but you can smell the heady scent of perfume and the faint musk of old velvet. And I think I will save here. I have run out of time greatly. But if you are enjoying this video, please leave a like and comment and subscribe. If you want to watch more of this visual novel, please take a look at the playlist down below. And if you want to watch other visual novels, please check my channel down below. Thank you, and take care.